In a world filled with constant noise, pressure, and uncertainty, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Deadlines, social expectations, economic stress, emotional fatigue. Life moves fast, and many of us are left feeling like we're barely keeping up. But what if I told you there's a way to stay grounded? What if there was a timeless path that could turn you into a rock, calm, steady, and unshaken, no matter what storm surrounds you? Today, you'll discover 10 powerful principles from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. These are not abstract theories. They are practical, proven tools that can completely change the way you respond to the challenges of life. At the heart of this wisdom is the voice of Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher. His teachings have guided warriors, leaders, and thinkers for centuries, and they're more relevant now than ever. Stay with me until the end, and you'll walk away with clear, actionable tools to live with more clarity, purpose, and emotional strength. This is not just a lesson in philosophy. This is your invitation to inner power. Let's begin. Stoicism is a philosophy that began over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece and Rome. But it's not about theory or debate. It's about action. It teaches us how to master our emotions, stay calm in chaos, and live with purpose, no matter what life throws our way. In today's world of constant distractions and emotional overload, Stoicism offers clarity, strength, and peace. In this video, we'll explore 10 core Stoic principles. Each one comes with real-life examples and practical steps you can start using today. These are timeless lessons for a modern life. Principle 1. Have a firm purpose. Imagine setting sail on a vast ocean with no map, no compass, and no clear destination. Every wave, every gust of wind, every storm throws you off course. You're not navigating, you're surviving. And that's how many people live without a firm purpose. A firm purpose is more than just having a goal. It's a deep, internal clarity about what truly matters to you. It's your guiding star, your foundation, your anchor. It keeps you steady when the world becomes chaotic. It helps you endure pain, resist distractions, and rise above doubt. Epictetus believed that purpose was essential. He taught that adversity doesn't define us. Our response to it does. And when we know what we're living for, our response becomes stronger, more intentional, more powerful. Purpose isn't something that magically appears. It's something you uncover through stillness and self-inquiry. It requires honesty. You have to look beyond shallow wants and passing trends. You have to ask, what are the values I want to live by? What impact do I want to have on the world? Who do I want to be when no one is watching? To begin, develop the habit of daily journaling. Each day, take a few quiet moments to reflect on your life. Write down your core values. Write about the kind of person you're becoming. Ask yourself what you're doing that truly aligns with your deeper beliefs and what doesn't. This small habit will gradually reshape your clarity and commitment. Another powerful practice is visualization. Close your eyes and picture yourself living with purpose. Not just achieving goals, but acting with integrity, staying calm under pressure, staying kind in conflict, staying focused in chaos. See yourself standing firm in who you are, no matter what the world throws at you. Because when your purpose is clear, life doesn't feel random anymore. Challenges still come, but they no longer shake you. You see them as steps on your path, not blocks in your way. You become anchored, firm, steady, and deeply grounded in who you are and why you're here. This is the power of a firm purpose. It gives you direction, it gives you strength, and it gives your life meaning. Principle 2. Control your mind, control your life. Everything begins in the mind. Every emotion, every reaction, every decision, it all starts with a thought. And yet, most people go through life without ever questioning the thoughts that run through their head. They believe every fear. They obey every impulse. They become slaves to their emotions. But Stoicism teaches us something different. It teaches that your mind is not your enemy. It's your most powerful tool. And when you learn to control it, you unlock true freedom. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that. Two people can experience the same event. One falls apart, the other grows stronger. The difference is not the event. The difference is the mind. To control your mind is to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer behind them. And you have the power to choose which thoughts deserve your attention and which don't. Start small. Begin with awareness. Throughout your day, pause and observe what your mind is saying. Is it rushing into fear? Is it feeding anger? Is it clinging to the past or worrying about the future? Simply notice. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Then apply mindful breathing. When stress rises, when emotions build, return to your breath. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Let your breath bring you back to the present moment, where your true power exists. This creates space between stimulus and response. And in that space, you find your freedom. Set daily intentions, not just to get things done, but to choose how you want to think and feel. Start your morning by saying, "Today, I will be calm. I will not let anger guide me. I will not be shaken by what I cannot control." This practice doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Stoicism is not about becoming numb. It's about becoming wise. It's about understanding your emotions deeply and choosing not to be ruled by them. When you control your mind, you control your life. You respond instead of react. You focus instead of scatter. You lead yourself instead of being led by fear, doubt, or habit. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you want peace, strength, and clarity, you must first build them within. Because your greatest battles will not be out there in the world. They will be inside your own mind. And once you win there, nothing outside can ever defeat you. Principle 3. Learn to handle criticism without losing your calm. At some point, we all face criticism. It might come from a friend, a colleague, a stranger online, or even from ourselves. Some criticism is honest and helpful. Some is careless or cruel. But no matter the source, one truth remains. You choose how much power it has over you. Stoicism teaches that the words of others do not define us. It is our interpretation of those words that creates pain or peace. The real danger isn't the criticism itself. It's how quickly we let it enter our mind, shape our emotions, and dictate our actions. When someone criticizes you, your first instinct might be to defend, to argue, or to retreat in shame. But a Stoic takes a different approach. They pause, they reflect, and they ask a powerful question. Is there any truth here that can help me grow? Not every critic is your enemy. Some are mirrors, showing you what you cannot see alone. But others are simply projecting their own frustrations or insecurities. Your task is to learn the difference. Begin by building self-knowledge. The more clearly you understand your values, your motivations, and your goals, the less fragile you become in the face of judgment. When your life is aligned with your principles, outside opinions lose their ability to shake you. Still, criticism can hurt, and that's natural. But instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, practice active listening. Truly hear what is being said, without immediately forming your response. Create space between the words and your reaction. That space is where wisdom lives. Then take time for reflective writing. If criticism leaves a mark, write about it. Ask yourself, why did this affect me? Was there a hidden truth I needed to hear? Or was I simply triggered by my own fear of not being enough? This habit transforms you. You begin to see feedback as fuel. Even harsh words can be turned into clarity, discipline, or motivation if you meet them with awareness. You don't have to fear criticism. You just need to master your response to it. Because when your sense of self comes from within, no opinion, no matter how loud, can take your peace away. Principle 4. Turn offense into an opportunity for growth. We live in a world where offense is everywhere. One comment, one look, one disagreement, and suddenly emotions flare. But Stoicism offers a radical truth. No one can truly offend you unless you allow it. Epictetus taught that what upsets us is not what others say or do. It's what we tell ourselves about it, the story we create, the meaning we assign. And this means we're never victims of offense. We are authors of its impact. To transform offense, you must first reclaim your power to interpret. When someone says something that triggers you, don't react automatically. Pause, breathe, ask, what exactly did they say? What exactly am I feeling? And why? Behind every offense is a belief, a fear, an expectation. Maybe you feel disrespected. Maybe you fear being misunderstood. Maybe a painful memory has been touched. The moment you recognize the root of your feeling, you gain control over it. This is how you build emotional resilience. Not by pretending things don't hurt, but by understanding why they do, and then deciding what story you will choose moving forward. Another key to this transformation is empathy. When someone offends you, ask, what might this person be carrying? What pain, fear, or struggle could have shaped their words or actions? This doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it helps you rise above it. You shift from, why did they do this to me, to what can I learn about myself through this moment? Use reframing questions like, what part of me feels attacked and why? Is this about me or about them? How will my highest self respond to this? What opportunity does this moment hold for growth? These simple reflections can dissolve the grip of offense and turn emotional pain into clarity. To live this way is not easy. It requires self-awareness, humility, and strength. But each time you choose growth over reaction, you become less dependent on others for your peace and more anchored in your own power. You become harder to offend, not because you don't feel, but because you understand. You see offense not as an attack, but as a signal, a chance to go deeper, a chance to become wiser. This is the Stoic path, not to be untouched by the world, but to be unshaken by it, and in doing so, to rise above it. Principle 5. Face fear and overcome shame. Fear and shame, two silent forces that shape our lives more than we realize. They hold us back from speaking, from creating, from loving, from stepping into who we are meant to be. Fear says, you might fail. You might be judged. You might not be enough. Shame says, you already failed. You're already broken, and no one must ever see it. But here is the truth that Stoicism reveals. Fear and shame are not facts. They are perceptions, mental constructions fueled by imagination, memory, and internalized voices from the past. And what is constructed by the mind can be reconstructed or even dismantled by the mind. Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by our judgments about them. The same applies to fear. The same applies to shame. It's not the experience that limits us. It's the meaning we attach to it. We often think we need to eliminate fear before we act. But courage doesn't come after fear is gone. Courage is the decision to move through the fear, one small, deliberate step at a time. That's why Stoics recommend a powerful practice, exposure by microaction. First, write it down. Take out a piece of paper and list your fears. Not vague ideas, but precise thoughts. Fear of public failure. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of rejection. Then list your sources of shame. Things you've hidden. Things you regret. Parts of yourself you pretend don't exist. Now choose one, just one, and ask, what is the smallest action I could take today to face this? Not to conquer it, but to meet it. Maybe that means speaking up in a group where you usually stay quiet. Maybe it's sending a message you've been afraid to write. Maybe it's telling someone the truth about how you feel. Maybe it's simply sitting with the feeling without running from it. Each time you take one step, something shifts inside you. The fear becomes smaller. The shame becomes lighter. Why? Because action breaks illusion, and fear lives in illusion. Shame grows in silence. But you're not your fears. You're not your shame. You are the one who observes them and chooses. Another practice is radical self-acceptance. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, you're not perfect, and you never needed to be. You made mistakes. That makes you human. You've carried wounds. That makes you real. When you stop running from your flaws, they lose their power over you. When you stop apologizing for your existence, you begin to stand taller. And you realize, fear and shame were never walls. They were fog. Thick, convincing fog. But once you step into it, it starts to clear. The Stoic way is not the easy way, but it is the path of liberation. By facing what scares you, you become stronger than it. By owning your truth, you become freer than you've ever been. So don't wait to feel ready. Take the step now, however small, and you'll discover that the freedom you were searching for was always one act of courage away. Principle 6. Anticipate difficulties. Premeditatio malorum. Every day, we hope things go smoothly, that people treat us well, that plans unfold as expected. But life rarely follows the script. A project fails. A friend lets us down. An unexpected bill arrives. Traffic makes us late. A comment wounds us when we least expect it. And when we haven't prepared for adversity, we react. We get angry. We get anxious. We spiral. But the Stoic prepares, not with fear, but with mental discipline. Premeditatio malorum. The premeditation of evils. It's the practice of imagining what could go wrong, not to dwell on negativity, but to be ready. Epictetus advised his students, before you step into the day, ask yourself what might happen. Who might provoke you? What might delay you? What challenge might arise? This doesn't mean you expect the worst. It means you stop expecting perfection. You shift from, why is this happening to me? To I expected this. I am prepared. Here's how to apply it. In the morning, sit quietly. Picture your day ahead. Visualize each moment. Your work, your commute, your conversations. Then ask, where could something go wrong? Where might I be tempted to lose my patience? What emotions might be triggered? What could test my values? Now, imagine your response. Picture yourself staying calm, acting with wisdom, speaking with clarity, holding to your principles, not being dragged by emotion, but guided by reason. This simple exercise rewires your brain. It reduces the shock factor. It shrinks overreaction. It increases your emotional immunity. It's like rehearsing for a storm so that when it arrives, you're already grounded. You've seen the winds. You've anchored yourself in advance. Want to go deeper? Keep a premeditatio journal. Each morning, list 3 potential difficulties you might face today. Then, write 1 sentence for each. If this happens, I will respond with strength, patience, or reason. That's all it takes. Just a few lines. But over time, it builds mental armor. When you expect life to be easy, every bump feels like an attack. But when you expect resistance and you prepare for it, even the hard days feel manageable. This is the Stoic advantage. Not that they avoid struggle, but that they walk into life already trained. Trained to endure. Trained to stay centered. Trained to respond, not react. Because when you are prepared for life's difficulties, they no longer control your mood, your mind, or your mission. They simply become part of the path you've already chosen to walk, with strength, with clarity, and with grace. Principle 7. Cultivate inner strength. What makes a person truly strong is not what happens to them, but how they respond. Life will test you. It will stretch you. It will bring moments of pressure, loss, and uncertainty. But your power does not come from changing the world. It comes from mastering yourself. Stoicism teaches that inner strength is the highest form of power. It cannot be taken, stolen, or broken by outside forces. It is built from within, through self-awareness, discipline, and resilience. When you remain calm in chaos, you are strong. When you act with purpose instead of panic, you are strong. When you choose your values over your impulses, you are strong. But strength is not built in a single moment. It is built in repetition, through daily actions, through consistent choices, through deliberate reflection. Start by keeping a list of your past victories. Moments when you overcame something difficult, when you kept going despite fear, when you chose patience instead of anger. Return to this list often. Let it remind you of what you are capable of. You are not starting from weakness. You are continuing from strength. Next, create personal rituals that strengthen you. Maybe it's 10 minutes of silence every morning. Maybe it's a daily walk to clear your mind. Maybe it's journaling what you're grateful for, especially on the hardest days. Gratitude is not a denial of pain. It's the decision to focus on what remains strong and meaningful, even when things fall apart. Resilience is the ability to rise again and again and again. Not because life is easy, but because you are determined. And that determination grows every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit. This is how you build inner strength. Quietly, consistently, not by controlling everything around you, but by choosing who you will be no matter what the world throws at you. Principle 8. Practice self-restraint. Pause before acting. Every day, we face moments of tension. Someone says something offensive. A delay ruins your plan. You feel a surge of anger, fear, or impatience. And in those moments, you have a choice to react or to pause. Stoicism teaches that freedom lives in the space between stimulus and response. When you react without thinking, you become a slave to your emotions. But when you pause, breathe, reflect, you regain control. And in that control, you find freedom. Self-restraint is not weakness. It is wisdom in action. It is the strength to choose your response rather than letting your emotions choose for you. One way to practice this is with a simple technique, the conscious pause. When something triggers you, stop, count to 3, inhale, exhale. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What do I really want to communicate? What outcome do I want from this moment? This pause creates clarity. It prevents regret. It allows your higher mind to lead, not your impulses. Use this in conversations, before replying to a difficult message, before speaking in anger, before making a decision you might later question. Also practice assertive communication. Speak with calm strength, not emotional reaction. Assertiveness is not aggression. It is expressing your truth with respect for yourself and for others. Self-restraint also applies to your habits. Notice the urge to check your phone, to complain, to procrastinate. Each time you resist an impulse, you train your willpower. And every moment of restraint is a moment of mastery. The Stoic does not seek to suppress emotion, but to guide it. Not to avoid action, but to take the right action. And that begins with restraint. Because the one who can pause can choose. And the one who can choose can lead. Principle 9. Accept reality as it is. We often suffer not because of what happens, but because we wish it hadn't happened. We resist reality. We deny the moment. We argue with what already is. But Stoicism teaches us a different path. Accept what is fully, clearly, and without resistance. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, want them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." This is not passive surrender. It is powerful awareness. Because only when you accept reality can you begin to respond wisely. Acceptance is the opposite of denial. It is the willingness to face things as they are, without illusion, without complaint, without escape. It's saying, this is what is happening. Now, how will I respond? Resistance adds weight. It creates tension, frustration, and emotional suffering. But when you accept, you free your energy to focus on action. You stop wasting time on why me and start asking what now. You can begin practicing acceptance through meditation. Each day, sit in silence, even for 5 minutes. Let your thoughts rise and fall. Let the moment be what it is. Notice your urges to control, to resist, to judge, and let them pass. Use mantras to guide your mind toward clarity. Say to yourself, I accept this moment as it is. I cannot control everything, but I can control how I respond. This, too, is part of the path. Return your attention to the present. When your mind runs to the past or fears the future, bring it back to now. Because now is the only place where peace and power exist. The Stoic doesn't ignore reality. They face it. And in doing so, they gain something rare and beautiful. Peace with the world as it is. Principle 10. Live according to your nature. To live well is not to follow every impulse. It is not to chase every desire. It is to live in alignment with your values, with your purpose, with your true nature. Stoicism teaches that human beings are rational and social creatures. Our nature is not chaos. It is reason. It is virtue. It is cooperation and courage and compassion. To live according to your nature means to act with integrity, to speak what is true, to do what is just, to choose simplicity over excess, discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Then ask, are my actions reflecting that person? Today, this is how you measure alignment. Not through perfection, but through consistency. A simple practice is the weekly self-review. Once a week, set aside time to reflect. Write down your core values: honesty, patience, focus, strength. Then review your actions. Where did you live by those values? Where did you drift? This gentle reflection creates awareness. It helps you adjust, realign, improve. You're not judged for falling short. You are strengthened by returning to the path. To live according to your nature is also to embrace authenticity. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to perform. You need only to act in truth with yourself and with the world. And finally, live with simplicity. Remove what distracts from what matters. Strip away the noise. Make space for stillness. Because clarity is born when you return to what is essential. When your values, your choices, and your essence are in harmony, you feel it. A quiet confidence, a deep peace, a life that is not loud, but full. This is the Stoic life. Not perfect, not easy, but rooted, aligned, whole. Inner peace through inner power. You've just explored 10 timeless principles from Stoic philosophy. And now, it's time to remember the most important truth of all. Real power comes from within. You may not control what others say or do. You may not control the events, the losses, the noise, or the world around you. But you always control your response. You control your thoughts, your focus, your choices. And in that space between what happens and how you respond, you find your freedom. Epictetus taught that the mind is our greatest power. That serenity is not given to us by the world. It is created by how we think, how we act, and what we choose to believe. So here is your invitation. Choose one principle today. Just one. Reflect on it. Write about it. Apply it to something real in your life. Whether it's facing a fear, calming your reactions, or returning to your purpose, let that one step guide your next. Because change doesn't begin in some distant future. It begins now, in this moment, with you. You do not control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. And now, with the wisdom of Epictetus, you have the tools to navigate any storm with clarity, strength, and peace. Thank you for being here, truly. Your time, your attention, your intention to grow, it matters. If you found value in this video, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below. Which principles spoke to you the most? What will you apply today? And if you're ready to go deeper, check out the next video on the screen. It continues this journey of inner mastery and helps you build an unshakable mind. Stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, peace is a choice you can make every single day.